everybody. I'm Sophia Parola with the Garden State Film Festival, and here with me is filmmaker Jo Meuris. She has made the short animated film Aurora. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today about your film. I'd love for you to just introduce yourself and the titles that you had in your film, and then tell us a little bit about Aurora.
All right. So, hi, I'm Jo Meuris. I am the director, animator, producer, everything of the film Aurora. It is a short animated film about a little girl and a horse, and it's a love story.
Beautifully said. I love the film. I think it's gorgeous. And I was telling you a little bit before that the voiceover in the film, I didn't know it was your voice. So, can you tell me what was your inspiration for making this story?
It wasn't supposed to be my voice. It is my voice because COVID.
Oh,
Uh, Originally, I had wanted to re-record it with a child's voice, and we ended up just kind of getting stuck with mine and deciding that we kind of liked the quality that it gave to the film,
mhm.
realizing that like, oh, along with the story, there is kind of like a wistfulness and a nostalgia that a child would not be able to capture because
Mm,
the kids, they're too little. They don't know what nostalgia is yet.
yeah.
So yeah, we ended up working with my voice. Barrett helped me re-record it and we pitched it up so it sounded a little bit younger. But
Wow.
yeah.
It's a lot. I'm telling you, just the way it's like warm and friendly, and I think it makes the film a little more universal too. Because like I think anyone can connect with this no matter what the age is, and I think your voice pairs along that perfectly. So I'm happy that you got stuck, as you say, with your voice. When did you write the story?
Oh my God. So the story has been sitting in my back pocket for close to 20 years. I had written it yeah, like 20 years ago. And I pitched it around initially and kind of didn't really get much interest. I was sort of told that it was a story for children, for very young children, more specifically for little girls who liked horses. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe now is not the time to make it. And so I stuck it back in my pocket and just would take it out occasionally and look at it and, you know, maybe not now. And ultimately, I'm teaching at a college right now, and I was going up for tenure, and I needed to have a project that was my own, that was personal. And I was like, oh God, what am I going to do? And I reached into my pocket and looked at the story again, and thought, okay, maybe now's the time. And clearly it has been the time because the film has been kind of having a reception that I was not expecting. So
Wow. Are you almost like, how do you feel about that it took 20 years to make this? Are you happy that you made it the time that you did? Do you think it would have been differently if you made it back then?
yeah, so now looking back, I don't think, and I mean, this sounds like I'm slamming 20-year-old me, and like it's not supposed to sound condescending to all our wonderful 20-year-old filmmakers, but I don't think that I had the maturity or the age or the experience as a filmmaker, just life experience, as a person, as a storyteller, as an animator to kind of tell this story back then the way I was able to tell it now. That, technology, I want to say technology is different. It's not like I use super high tech technology to do this, but yeah, there was just, there was a lot of experience that went into the making of the film
Mhm.
that I know looking back, I did not have at that time. So I'm kind of glad I waited. At the same time, I think, time is important. And I don't know if, I'd taken another 10 years to make it, if it would have been successful at that point either.
Right.
So,
Wow. I'm so happy that you finally did make it. And you mentioned like you didn't use the most high tech technology, but I'd love to ask you, what you did use to make this animation, and how
um,
your experience with animation. When did that start?
oh God. So I studied animation in undergrad.
Oh,
And I worked for 15 years in the animation industry at the National Film Board of Canada. And then I did my master's somewhere in there. I took 2 years off, worked on my master's. And then I ended up at Nevada State College, where I'm teaching animation to our next generation of filmmakers,
wow.
hopefully.
So you had
Um,
experience
I,
before Aurora.
a little bit.
So how did you make this animation?
So this animation was made entirely evenings and weekends after teaching all day long. Lots of late nights and sleepless nights on my computer, my 15-year-old computer. in my office. And I was using a software called Toon Boom Harmony. It's been around for close to 20 years now. And it lets you work directly into the computer. So I was able to cut out the step of like working on paper and having to scan on paper. I was using a Cintiq, so I was drawing directly on the screen, just like a tablet monitor. And I used After Effects to do the compositing of the textures, and then Premiere to edit. And everybody always wants to know what the software is. It's not the
Wow. Yeah,
software.
I asked that specifically for people watching because I have no idea what really you just said. It sounds amazing. I don't know anything about animation, but it does sound like it took a lot of time, especially you doing it after classes, after you worked teaching animation, and then you go home to animate. How long did that take?
It was about 2.5 years of like super late nights. I mean, there would be nights when I would come home, I would teach until 9 or 10, and then I would come home and then work until 3 or 4 in the morning, go to sleep, wake up in the morning,
Oh
start all
my
over again.
gosh. Wow.
And then, yeah, whatever weekends would be like my really long days. I'd log easily a 16-hour day on the weekends, because it just needed to get done. Like it doesn't get done. If animation is one of those things you can't procrastinate on. If you're not actively sitting at your machine doing the work, it doesn't do itself.
Mm,
So yeah.
wow. And this music that you have scored on the film is beautiful. I mean, it just
Yes.
it all meshes so well. Can you tell me how you found this sound?
Yeah. So Darren, I have known for probably close to 20 years too. I met him at a film festival, and he was, I think, just straight out of school. And he had heard me talking to somebody because I'd had a film in that festival. And he was like, "Oh, I heard you were a director." And he gave me his demo. And I popped that in when I got home. He gave it to me on a CD, and I put it in when I got home. And it was just the most beautiful music that came out of my CD player. So I wanted to work with him, and we kind of worked together off and on for over the years. And when I finished this film, I knew that I wanted to work with him, and so I called him up. He's in LA now, and said, "Hey, do you want to score my film?" And he wrote this music, and I didn't know what to expect. I'd been working with temp music, but I kind of didn't really know. Like I knew what I wanted, but I didn't really know what I wanted. And when he kind of originally pitched the music to me, he's like, "I hope you like it." I gave it kind of a country feel, and I was kind of like, okay, that wasn't really what I was thinking, but like I trust him. So, I know that I'm going to get something lovely. And even if it doesn't work, we'll be able to we'll be able to kind of like discuss kind of what route maybe we should be looking at. And yeah, it was not what I was expecting and everything that the film needed.
Wow.
I have there's one point in the film where I always cry. It's my own stupid story and I always cry. But
It's not stupid, but I'd love to hear it.
but Darren made me cry in like 3 or 4 other places. And I was
Hmm.
just like, wow, okay. So yeah, no, he just nailed it. This
Yeah.
film would not be the film that it is without his music.
Wow. Yeah, it all works so well. I loved the music, and it just so you handed him the film and you had your voiceover already taped, and then he scored the music based off of that?
Yeah, so there was a little bit of back and forth. So I gave him the film finished with my rough voice. I'd recorded on janky mic like this, sitting at my computer. I had to filter out the fan because you could hear the fan on it. And we weren't able to get into the studio because like I finished summer 2020.
Oh
So
wow.
literally right at the time when I would have been wanting to kind of put those finishing touches on, get a new voice recording, get my music recorded, everything shut down. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm stuck with this voice track because I'm not going to be able to hold auditions or do any of that stuff. So I cleaned it up as best I could. So Darren got like my temp track. And then after it started going to festivals, it started doing well. And I met Barrett, and he agreed to help me. He really liked the film, and he was like, yeah, if you want to clean up that track, I'll help you re-record it.
Wow. Oh,
So
that's
we
so
did eventually end
interesting.
up re-recording the voice in a proper studio. And yeah, again, like Barrett did a beautiful job kind of re-recording that, help getting the performance that we needed. He played the old temp track through my headphones, and I tried to reproduce the performance. I actually think the new version is better than my old version, which you have not heard. Um, and yeah, and then he mixed it for me. And yeah, Darren and Barrett, I would not have been able to make this film without them.
Wow. Well, congrats to them both. I mean, the work that you all did, it obviously made a beautiful result. And I'm really happy that Garden State has this version through all the journeys that you went through. It's just, it's a beautiful, beautiful story and very universal. My last question for you is how you heard about the Garden State Film Festival and how's it feel to have Aurora screening this year?
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think when I've heard about the Garden State Film Festival, because I mean, I've been doing this for like 20 years now, and so I've been doing the festival thing for close to 20 years. And you hear about festivals and, or there's festivals that are on your radar and you don't know how they got there. And I have a feeling that is the case with the Garden State, because I know you
Yeah.
guys are a longer running
It
festival.
was around for its 20th anniversary. Yeah. So it must have been around the 20 years when you came up with the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's likely that, I mean, so in the old days, right, you would send to, your one or two initial festivals, and then you would start getting mailers. They would literally mail you like festival
Right.
submission flyers and things. And now it's all Film Freeway. So, I got on Film Freeway when it was time to, start doing the festival circuit for Aurora, and just started looking for festivals. And again, there's festivals that are on your radar. And so,
Mhm.
the name came up and I went and I looked in and I was, oh, I know about this festival. Yes, I'm gonna, make sure I submit it here. And yeah, you are one of the longer running ones. And it's always nice to get into one of the longer running festivals because, you guys have a little bit more cred and,
Yeah.
it's
People who
kind
would
of,
love to see the films keep coming back. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So
wow. Well, I'm so happy that the Garden State Film Festival stayed on your radar. I hope that even though we don't have a mailing list, you will always keep this in the back of your mind in all your next projects. Aurora is a beautiful film. Congratulations to you, Darren, Barrett, everybody involved. I'm really excited that it's going to be at the Garden State this year.
thank you.
So
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. I
Thank you,
really
Joe.
appreciate you guys' support for my film.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate filmmakers like you. I love that I have the honor of talking to you guys about how you made it. So thank you for taking the time to tell us. And let me tell everyone watching how they can see Aurora. It will be online, so you can watch it virtually as well as all the films this year. But if you want to see it in person, check it out Sunday, March 27th at Asbury Hotel in Asbury Hall in the film block 12:15 to 1:45 p.m. So definitely check it out. It's a beautiful film. Thank you again, Joe, and congratulations.
Thank you.